U.S. labor market split, BLS versus ADP jobs report divergence explained. U.S. jobs market beats expectations in June. Unemployment drops to 4.1%. Economic update. U.S. labor market split, BLS versus ADP jobs report divergence explained. Imagine a scenario where two major reports on the same topic tell vastly different stories. That's exactly what's happening with the U.S. labor market, where the official figures from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS, and the ADP jobs report are painting two distinct pictures. This discrepancy is not just a matter of numbers, it hints at a deeper divide in the American job landscape. On one side, the BLS reported a robust addition of 147,000 jobs in June, exceeding expectations. The unemployment rate even dipped slightly, falling from 4.2% to 4.1%, contrary to predictions of a rise to 4.3%. This news was met with optimism, suggesting a healthy job market. However, the ADP report, which came out a day earlier, told a different story. It indicated a decline of 33,000 private sector jobs, a stark contrast to the BLS findings. But here's where it gets controversial. The ADP report focuses solely on private sector employment, excluding government jobs. This crucial detail explains some of the disparity. In fact, the BLS data revealed that government jobs surged by 73,000 in June, accounting for nearly half of the total non-farm payroll growth. This means that while the overall job market appears strong, the private sector may not be sharing in the same prosperity. And this is the part most people miss. The divergence between the ADP and BLS reports isn't just a statistical anomaly, it reflects a growing split in the U.S. labor market. Economist Corey Stahel from Indeed Hiring Lab put it succinctly: the headline job gains and surprising dip in unemployment are undoubtedly good news, but for job seekers outside of healthcare and social assistance, local government, and public education, the gains will likely ring hollow. So, what does this mean for the average worker? While the overall numbers look positive, the reality on the ground might be more nuanced. For those in the private sector, especially in industries not tied to government contracts, the job market might still feel challenging. And this is where the debate heats up. Should we trust the broader, more inclusive BLS report, or should we focus on the more specific ADP data? What do you think? Is the U.S. labor market truly improving, or are we seeing a tale of two job markets? Share your thoughts in the comments below. U.S. jobs market beats expectations in June. Unemployment drops to 4.1%. Economic update. In a surprising turn of events, the U.S. jobs market defied expectations in June, proving once again that economic forecasts are as much art as they are science. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. Not only did the numbers surpass predictions, but unemployment also edged downward despite expert warnings of a potential uptick. Let's dive into what this means for the economy and why it has sparked so much debate among analysts and policymakers alike. According to data released by the Labor Department's Bureau of Labor Statistics, the U.S. economy added an impressive 147,000 jobs during the month of June. This figure far outpaced initial projections, which had estimated around 111,000 new jobs. In fact, the actual number exceeded expectations by over 30,000, a significant margin that underscores the strength of the labor market at this moment. Additionally, unemployment ticked down slightly from 4.2% to 4.1%, breaking a 3-month streak where it had remained steady. Economists had anticipated a rise in unemployment, making this decline all the more noteworthy. But wait, there's another layer to unpack here. While job growth was robust and unemployment dipped, wage increases told a slightly different story. The average hourly earnings for workers did go up, continuing a positive trend. However, the rate of increase was somewhat slower compared to the previous 2 months. This raises questions about whether wage growth is keeping pace with the overall health of the job market. Is this slowdown temporary, or could it signal underlying challenges? It's a question worth pondering as we consider the broader economic landscape. Now, let's talk about the Federal Reserve, whose role in shaping monetary policy cannot be overstated. Later in July, the Fed will convene to deliberate on whether to adjust interest rates. Here's where things get controversial. While the job market appears strong, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell has expressed caution about lowering interest rates too quickly. Why? Because there's concern that President Trump's tariffs might fuel inflationary pressures, complicating efforts to maintain economic stability. Should the central bank prioritize short-term growth or long-term sustainability? That's a debate likely to divide opinions both inside and outside the Fed. Amid these developments, the intersection of faith and public life remains a topic of reflection for many. As Christians, how do we approach prayer when it comes to matters of leadership and economic stewardship? For instance, one might pray for President Trump as he advocates for lower interest rates, seeking guidance in balancing national priorities. Similarly, members of the Federal Reserve face immense responsibility as they weigh the risks of inflation against employment trends. Wisdom is undoubtedly needed as they navigate these complex decisions. And this is the part most people miss. Behind every statistic lies a human story. Each job created represents someone gaining financial security, pursuing dreams, or supporting their family. Every fraction of a percentage point in unemployment reflects real lives being impacted, for better or worse. So, as we discuss these numbers and their implications, let's remember the individuals whose futures hang in the balance. What are your thoughts on the current state of the US economy? Do you believe the Federal Reserve should prioritize cutting interest rates, or does the risk of inflation outweigh the benefits? Share your perspective in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you.